Hi everyone, this is Allison McAdams, and in this video we're going to be reviewing how mentors can complete and edit their MentorPRO profiles. So right now we are on the home screen for when you log into the MentorPRO platform. To navigate to get to your profile, we're going to go down here to the lower left side of the screen. Blue blob is going to be our mentor today. You can click on either your headshot here or your name and navigate to my profile. As you can see here, there's really not any information to detail out anything about Blob's background, areas of expertise, education, or anything like that. So filling out these identifiers and filling out that personal information is going to be what mentees are using to determine whether they want to send you a message to connect about a potential mentoring relationship. So in order to add these identifiers and complete this personal info, we're going to go back to the top of the screen and in the upper right, click on the edit button here. This is where you can add and update your headshot. We do ask that you include a current up-to-date headshot to make you seem a little bit more authentic and allow the students to put a face to a name for as they navigate and are looking for a potential future mentor. It creates a little bit of, again, authenticity there. You can edit any name information, email, phone number, and then we get into this personal information that you'll want to be sure is updated. So here you'll include your current city that you're located in, perhaps your hometown. If you would like to identify your pronouns here, you can select from a drop-down menu. And then your bio is going to be a really important piece to provide a little bit more context and detail as to who you are and what your background is, as well as what your current role is. So in your bio, we do ask that you indicate your current role and employer. This could also be a spot where you can indicate a little bit about your, employment history or work history, maybe some hobbies and personal interest areas. Because again, we know that in addition to connecting on, maybe a major or industry expertise or, your previous roles or experiences, we can connect with people on more than just that professional stuff, right? So it might be helpful to include some hobbies or personal interest areas to, again, let the mentee learn a little bit more about you as a person as well. This could also be a spot where you can indicate why you serve as a mentor and what your inspiration is or what your kind of calling to serve as a mentor to provide that guidance and that expertise to students, kind of why you do what you do. The next thing here, you can indicate your time zone. So that again depends on where you're geographically located. If you wanted to indicate some specific availability, you can do that through this always available tab here. So if you are always available and you don't want to have to indicate any sort of specific availability, you can just toggle that to on here. If you did want to indicate specific days and times that you are available or that a mentee could expect to hear back from you, you could do that by adding those specific hours per days of the week here. Next, we're going to get down to the identifiers. So again, this is going to be what students will use to search for and filter through all of the mentors that we have in the program to find the potential best fit for them. So first is going to be your education or major. So we do ask that you include your highest level of education at the bare minimum. So if you can select multiple levels of education here. So if you earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's and potentially a PhD, you should be able to indicate all of those here. So for our example of Blob here, we'll say that Blob studied advertising. Location. You can type in your current location here, but we could just scroll down from this list also. So Blob is located in Cincinnati, as that's where Xavier is. And then there's going to be this question of if you are located in the greater Cincinnati area. Some of our mentees do want to have a more kind of in-person or have the availability for an in-person mentoring relationship. So if you are located in the greater Cincinnati area, you can indicate that here. The industries of interest and the career interests are filters for the mentees, so you as mentors do not have to worry about or fill these out here. Special populations, if you were a part of one of these groups or you currently are a part of one of these groups, you can indicate that in this special populations identifier. You absolutely do not have to. All of this identification or disclosing you're a part of any of these special populations is completely up to you. But again, it might be helpful to indicate that you are a part of one of these to potentially connect with a student on maybe a shared experience. So for this, we will say that Blob was a student athlete. They're an athletic Blob. For industry expertise, we do ask that you limit it to your top 5 industries to, again, maybe make sure and help with the mentees being able to find as tailored of results as possible. So we do ask that you limit your industry expertise to a top 5. So we will say that Blob has worked in education as well as sport. And then as far as topical expertise, here we do also ask that you limit it to your top 5, maybe most current or most salient roles that you've held. So Blob, having been an advertising student working in both education and sport, let's say they have experience in advertising, maybe a little bit of education administration, and maybe some marketing. So we'll scroll down here to marketing. This available to mentor is going to be important to fill out to indicate to students that yes, they're welcome to message you, that you are available to take on a mentee at this point in time. So if you click the arrow here and then select yes, again, that will indicate to students that you are available to mentor. If and when you do match with a mentee and you are not available to take on anymore, you can go in here and edit that yes to a no. Or if at any point in your life or in your career where you maybe don't have the capacity to take on a mentee, you can also indicate that no here. But we're going to switch back to yes because Blob is available. The graduation year and looking for a mentor are also just for mentees, so you as mentors don't have to worry about these. So we'll click save. And then we can see here that our profile is a lot more fleshed out. It provides a lot more context as to what experiences Blob is coming in with, geographically where they're located, their education background, all of which will again help with potential future mentees knowing if Blob might be a great fit for them. If you have any questions about completing your profile or the MentorPRO platform in general, please feel free to reach out to us at mentor@xavier.edu.